how do people perceive me? Think about that question of like, what are the stories that I have about how people perceive me? And I've already mentioned a couple of those. Like, if we look at the most popular ones, it's not enough, not beautiful, not successful, I can't be myself, not old enough, don't have enough skills. Like these stories that we have about how people perceive us, right? And I think that one of the most helpful things that we can do to quiet those voices and beliefs, which then cause us to look externally for validation, to either like to prove them wrong, right? We're constantly trying to prove these stories wrong with everything we do, which is so stressful because then every single moment, if we don't accomplish our object, it means that the story is more true. So everything's so stressful. But so we have these stories that are oftentimes more on the limiting side. So what we can do consciously is erect our empowering beliefs about who we are socially. And all of us have those, but oftentimes they're just not as present. Like the brain's primary object is to keep us safe. And so it's not to help us flourish, right? So by focusing on what could go wrong, we're more likely to make sure it doesn't happen, but that likely doesn't help us to feel good in the process. So when we think about empowering beliefs, like one for me would be an example of this is that my authenticity creates space for other people to be authentic. It creates in me the draw back to authenticity fundamentally as like an act of service. It makes it easier. I'm not looking externally because I know that one, right? I would look at one that I had earlier this year that really transformed my life socially was thinking, wow, the people that know me, that really know me, their lives are better because I'm in their life. It's like, and not because of my skills, but it's because I'm a kind person. It's because I seek to help people. I care about people, right? And so I said, the people that know me, their lives are better. So when I meet people, I have this belief now that it's like, if they want to get to know me, their lives are going to be better. And what has that engineered me? It's just a confidence and ease to just be myself, right? And so by constructing these empowering beliefs, and an important caveat here is that it is not helpful to erect an empowering belief that you don't actually believe, right? Mm-hmm. If I were to say like, I'm as sexy as Brad Pitt, I think I'm a handsome guy, but like I don't think I'm as sexy as Brad Pitt, right? So that's not actually going to register with me in a way that it impacts how I'm showing up in the world. And so I think that one of the most helpful things that we can do to quiet those external voices is to find out like what are the empowering things and beliefs that I can hold about myself. And once we create those, now we also start to collect evidence for those stories to be true, right? When things are happening, like I'm hanging out with you and you're smiling and enjoying yourself and I'm like, look, Ajit's life is better because I'm in his life, right? It's like great. And then, so that's one of the simplest things. And then I would just bring it back to a classic because it really was a fundamental shift in how I was able to, I would say, defuse the inhibition and anxiety of external validation seeking and voice, as you called it, is Byron Katie's The Work. And so I think it's one of the most powerful constructs to eliminate limiting belief and story about the world that I've ever talked about. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I've read her book.
Okay, cool.
I don't recall the name of the book, but I've read the book.
It's called.
That's the only exposure.
Yeah,
I have
so the book is called Loving What Is, and the framework, which I will get largely correct here, but I may not get it right. So go to thework.com. It's incredibly powerful. Is anytime you have a story about how the world is or what someone else is thinking, right? So let's say that you're going into a big conference and you might feel a little bit of anxiousness, and there's a subconscious story that's present that like the people who are here, I'm not their equal. They don't see me as their equal. I'm not successful enough. This is one that I experienced personally, right? I can talk about like having a mini panic attack at conferences when I was 24 running my first company and stuff. And so I have this story, right? These people who are here, they don't see me as their equal. So what the work would do is it's 4 questions and a turnaround. So the first question is this true? These people don't see me as their equal. Is it true? Well, like, I guess I don't know, right? I think it's true, but like, I don't know for sure that it's true. So that's the first step. The second question is, can you absolutely for certain know that this is true? And I was like, well, no, not just by asking it. Like, unless I ask people, hey, do you think I'm your equal? Like, then maybe I could know it. But like, I can't know it if it's just a story in my head. So the third is to say, How do I respond when I accept this story as true? And so I would say like, wow, when I think that I'm not these people's equal, I feel anxious, right? Like I get cotton mouth. I like want people to like me. I'm less capable of being myself. So now what I've done is I've acknowledged that, okay, I have a story about what's happening here. I've acknowledged that I have no way of telling if it's true or not, but even holding that story is making me nervous, is making me shy. And it's just a story, right? And so the fourth one is, who would I be without this story? So to walk into that conference without the thought of, these people don't see me as their equal, well, I'd probably feel more confident. I'd probably feel more liberated to just meet people and to be myself. Like, oh, wow, that sounds nice. And then the next one is the turnaround. So you would take the story and then you would say, could the opposite be true? Could the people here actually see me as their equal? And then I get goosebumps again, because then what you show yourself is like, yes, that is also likely to be, that is a possibility.
Yeah.
And so what it does is just, it defuses the hold that these stories have about us. And so like what I would say is erecting empowering beliefs and having an actual modality to engage when any time that we are feeling insecure, anytime that we're feeling anxiety, anytime we feel a contraction in our body, I can almost guarantee you that you are locked into some sort of story about how people are perceiving you, about what's going to happen in the future. And so if you pause, like that's why this is so powerful. Anytime you find yourself into a moment of displeasure and you just say like, what is the story that I'm telling myself? It's a powerful way to come back to presence and then to make a decision with a clear mind and not based on some false perception of reality.